Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make an apple with a heart-shaped bite taken out of it. And this is actually really simple and it looks so cute. And this is a collaboration with Heather Wells, so please subscribe to her. Click on this link to go to her channel and just subscribe to her, and in the description there will be a link to her video because she also did something with apples, and she's also doing a whole bunch of tutorials on fruits and vegetables. So don't forget to comment some really nice comments on her channel because she is so awesome and so talented. First, mix translucent white and a little bit of eco tan clay together. Take the color that you made and roll it into a ball. Then take a knife, any type of knife, and then take some chalk pastels and put it onto the surface. And I'm just using an old saucer thing from an old tea set because I like using it for this. And you're going to take your ball and put it in the chalk and take a brush and kind of just make sure that your ball gets red all over it. And you can also make your apple green if you would like. You can't see it here, but there's still some white parts, and I want there to still be a couple white parts, and so I'm just going to take my finger and then just brush some of the pastels on just a certain part of the apple to make it redder. But you can make it all red, even more red if you'd like. Now it's time to shape your apple. And I've seen apples in many different types of shapes. So the shape I'm doing, you could do it a little bit different because, like I said, not every apple is the exact same size. So, and there's different types of apples, so there'll be different shapes. So what I'm going to do first is take my ball and roll a side of it a little bit longer, and then on one of the sides I'm going to put a little bit more pressure like this, and then it will be a little bit smaller. And then what I'm going to do is on the smaller side, I'm just going to pinch it a little bit and flatten the sides just a tiny bit. And you might want to put this down on something to help just flatten it a little bit on each side. And then once you've done that, I'm just going to press it down a little bit more again. And keep doing this until you have an apple shape that you're happy with. So take your pin, and on the side that's smaller, you're going to kind of put the needle like this. And then on the opposite side, do the same. And just keep doing this. And it doesn't have to be too hard, just kind of that shape that most apples have. Then I'm taking this part of the pin, the flat side, and in the middle I'm just going to put some pressure there. And then I'm going to flip it over like this, and on the top I'm just going to press again. And then I'm going to take my needle, and with some pressure I'm going to put more pressure on the bottom and then slowly go on up. And then I'm just going to take a small part of it and I'm going to put less pressure. I'm just going to do small little scratches. And then I'm just going to take that pin again and put it in the middle just to re-put that shape. And if some of the color is fading off because you use pastels, if you want, you could take some more red pastel and just kind of take your brush and put it just in the lines part, or you could use your finger again and just kind of put it there, but you don't really have to do this. To to make the stem of the apple, I'm going to use some dark brown, or just, you know, a normal dark brown color. And then I'm also going to use a caramel color, and I'm going to mix them together. And what I want is colors to be almost completely blended, but there's still, you can still see some resemblance of the other color, because that's the way I want it to look. So I'm going to roll it into a snake, and I'm just going to look at how kind of thin I want it to be, and then with my knife I'm going to cut. And how I'm going to cut this is not at an exact like straight. I'm going to kind of do it in an angle like this, and then with that angled part I'm going to use that part of the pin again, and I'm just going to put some more pressure on there and make it just a little bit rounded. Then take your needle and just lash it very gently so that it has some texture. And then you connect it to the bigger part of your apple, and I'm just going to use my pin to kind of put some pressure in there. Now for the heart, choose a side that you kind of want to do it on, and I'm just going to take my needle and I'm going to do a shape of a heart. Just draw it out. And then take the sharp part and just start taking some of it off, some of the red off of your apple. And if it isn't working, then just freeze the apple, your clay apple, in the freezer for a little bit, so then it's just more stiff. And you don't want to do a really smooth job, because this is going to look like a heart bitten, like somebody bit out of an apple and it shaped a heart, so it's not going to be perfect. And then I'm just going to use the rest of my needle to just this side again, just to make it look more evened. And you want to kind of make it look like this, like not completely smooth, and it's okay if there's still some red on there. And then bake. You can make your apple redder if you'd like, but I like it this color. And now what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna add some green paint to some certain places, because some apples have greener parts to them. So I'm just taking the pin, and you could use a fine tip paintbrush too, and just put it wherever you want it to look greener. Smooth it in a little bit. You could also use your finger to smooth it. And something that really helps is if you put lots of pressure when you're doing this, it will kind of have a faded look, kind of what some apples have, is like the green is fading. So if you kind of put lots of pressure, you will get that effect. So what I did was I just added some green to the top, and also some on some of the sides, and you can't really see it, but it is there. And that is pretty much it. And there's one last step that is optional again. You could take some white paint and a really stiff brush and kind of just sprinkle it onto your apple roughly. Spray it onto your apple roughly, but I like the way it looks, so I'm not going to do that. But if you wanted to just add some little white spots that some apples have, you could totally do that. And the last thing you could do is, of course, glaze your clay creation. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and again, you can make your apple much redder, or you can make it a green apple, but I was thinking of a certain type of apple that is a little bit of a lighter color. And remember to check out Heather Wells' channel, and please subscribe to her. She is awesome, and I just love her videos so much. And also remember to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. Bye.